Yes, guys, welcome to Full Time Devils. This is the podcast. We are back. Myself, Jay, Abdullah, and Andy. We're here to chat about all things Manchester United. I would say all things football, but I'm trying to avoid most of it at the moment after what I've just seen, which makes it worse for Manchester United fans, doesn't it? That our main rivals are pulling up trees at the moment, I suppose.
I'm not going to lie, I kept waking up last night. Couldn't sleep properly. Kept waking up and thinking, is this really happening, this? And then it's like, yeah, it is. And then went back to sleep. It was horrible.
Everything around football, I'm just sick of it, really.
Someone tweeted me saying, you're jealous. Of course I'm fucking jealous.
Of course. Wasn't that them for like, wait a minute, wasn't
no,
that
I don't
Liverpool
want to play
fans
the
for like
Champions
30
League final
years?
or walk the league. No, I don't.
What, wasn't that them for like 30 years though? And why do they want everyone to feel sorry for them and everyone to support them? I just don't understand that.
I don't get that.
I don't get the whole thing. Everyone should
support Liverpool.
I love being hated when we
They did well last night.
Oh yeah, letting off fireworks outside the hotel. That's real fucking brilliant, that, isn't it? Typical Scouse mentality.
I mean, Liverpool fans haven't been like, you see that like, you know, like when underdogs go some like FA Cup games
and pushing people in fountains as well. You know what I mean?
No, we don't see that.
So maybe Cat. It's just like last year they attacked the coach, didn't they?
We should support
City coach. So
what?
We should support them though, innit?
Yeah. I'll be sat there, mate, in my Ajax.
Who?
Liverpool. I'm joking, man. I'm joking.
What? I was just thinking, did I just hear that wrong?
I didn't know with the guy in the paper shop the other week. You support Liverpool?
No, it was bloody Van
Piss
Aanholt.
off!
Van Aanholt tweeted last night. He was like, "You cannot not support Liverpool" or something like that.
Obviously,
I think there's a difference between saying that was pretty good, you bastards, and supporting them and loving it. I didn't enjoy it, but you have to take it out and say,
no, but I said that.
You have to give them credit.
But I'm not going to support you. You can't force me to support Liverpool.
Not just trying to bring United into the equation, but our season peaked in Paris, and it was a similar thing where we had loads of players out. They had their main from
Mark Owen.
You just wondered if we hadn't beaten Paris, we would have been. Might have been all right still in the league.
I think we would have still struggled no matter what. I think it was a lot of people putting it on Paris, you know, us collapsing.
Losing at Wolves as well.
I don't think it's that. I honestly don't think it's
Wolves
Paris.
losses.
It was always going to happen. The intensity in that team, the fitness, they couldn't handle playing that aggressive football.
But you've got to look at that team.
In my opinion,
how many times that team's played since then? That's not. I don't think that's an excuse.
What, the Paris game?
I do think fitness is part of the issue.
I think it's definitely part of the issue. They can't handle playing that aggressive football.
In terms of the way Ollie wants to play football, this squad isn't built 100%. For that at all.
I think I think what one thing you can look at with the Scousers is Klopp's been now 4 years, and they've given him time and they've backed him. They've let him sign players. They've let him sign players to replace players that he signed. They let him buy a goalkeeper and buy another goalkeeper. They've let him bring in players from relegated teams. They've let him bring in players from teams that are struggling and teams from abroad. You know, they backed him. They've properly backed him. And that's what we need to do now. Because we've just gone this merry-go-round of managers coming in, making signings that they like. Then a new manager comes in, doesn't like the signings that the previous manager made. And we're just going round and round in circles and getting nowhere. And I think we just stick with Ollie, give him some time, let him find his feet a little bit. And if we don't
I accept the
challenge for the title next season, or even if we're struggling to get in the top 4 next season, don't hit the panic button.
I think we will be.
Give him another season after that.
Well, you think we'll be all right? We'll be challenging for top 4 next season.
Well, but I said it this summer. Yeah. We didn't sign a central defender. We wouldn't challenge for the league.
Yeah.
And I've got a feeling now we're not going to be challenging for anything next season.
But if we're not, the point I'm saying is don't get rid of him.
Be out of Europa League.
Stick with him.
If you think about
maybe the Europa League will be it'll have to be our bread and butter again. Just hanging on the top 4, trying to sneak in and trying to win the Europa League.
It's not a good way of doing things, though, is it? We did it once and we're like, we don't want to be coming back here.
Stockholm was special, but
Stockholm was special. I think for other reasons.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. There was a lot, emotional side of it after the arena attack, and also the fact that was us getting into the Champions League, and we never won that trophy or a version.
It's one of them.
Trophy.
You do it once.
It completed the
it was an emotional
we
time
said
for
when we were in
Manchester.
Stockholm, we said we don't ever want to see the Europa League again.
Yeah.
And lo and behold,
And here we are.
3 seasons later.
The music.
Can I just ask a question?
Of course.
If we finish 5th, we go into the group stage. Is that right?
I think so.
So it's a small comfort in it. I suppose
I think as well if we finish
pre-season
6th and City win the
Yeah, I've
FA
heard
Cup
that.
we
But
go
if we
into.
finish 50s automatically into the group stage.
Yeah,
If we finish
but-
6th and Watford win, then we've got to play that knockout.
Yeah,
If you look
it
at
j-
Burnley,
On the day of
last-
Tottenham.
short the
Burn-
tour or something like that.
Burnley had to play Istanbul Başakşehir, Aberdeen,
Aberdeen, yeah.
and Olympiacos from July
Istanbul
all
are
the
a
way to
solid
the
team
end.
as well.
Yeah, I think they might be in the
Nah,
league.
it's
Istanbul
pretty close at
Başakşehir.
the top.
Is it?
It's
Yeah.
gonna be. It's gonna be.
Fenerbahce were like fighting.
I've been keeping
relegation
an
at
eye on
one
that
point.
one
It's
because
looking a bit crazy. Yeah.
I like
That's the
Turkish
league we've been
Because you know
watching.
that's
The Turkish
it's
league.
a
That's
bit
where,
nuts.
where our
That's where
fixtures will be next
Yeah.
season. He's studying the Latvian third division,
Istanbul,
first division hard.
Başakşehir,
Because,
fantasy.
you know, these are the teams we've got to worry about next season.
Yeah. Oh my
You
god.
just hope, though, on the back of last night, I know we've said this for the last 5 years, forgive me, I'm going to say it again, but you hope that this is a bit of a wake-up call to the powers that be.
Wow.
Because you
And
look
the players.
at the Liverpool team, right, and one thing with City, that I've always thought with City have won like a lot of trophies recently, but commercially I don't think City ever really challenge us, but Liverpool do. Liverpool have those fans that globally that United have, so and some of those fans aren't, you know, younger fans who are growing up will be choosing Liverpool over United. You know, that's sort of the
And
thing
ultimately to
and
the
spending
their customers.
yeah, no, that's the way you look at it as a business. Liverpool's success on the field is obviously increasing their global reach, and that's going to affect United. And I'm hoping, trying to take a small crumb of comfort out of what I've just seen, that this is going to sort of galvanise the board into realising we need to have
people
a
familiar
strategy
with the Glazers and their running of their NFL franchise.
Not good, is it?
Tampa
They
Bay.
don't really care about success. I think they did win a Super
One
Bowl.
Super,
They won
one
like
Super
and
Bowl.
then they've just lived off
2005,
that ever
I
since.
think it was.
Right, okay.
It was really old.
Around the time when they took us.
Wow,
A
one
depressing
Super Bowl.
time.
You know what I mean?
So we're the reason that team's failing now.
Well, we're
Fantasy,
not,
isn't
but
it?
with the look. This leads us on to the topic that we wanted to discuss today.
Yeah.
Unfollow Manchester United and other demonstrations, because there's not just been talk of unfollow Manchester United. There's been talk of, and one that I kind of like the idea of a little bit more, is the fans leaving the game before that lap of dishonour and all that stuff.
yeah, it's available.
There's that.
You could just
But
say everyone's leaving for traffic.
Ultimately, demonstrations, is it too late? Do you like the idea of any of these that we're hearing at the moment?
Yeah.
Do you think, like, obviously, fans are frustrated at the moment.
Yeah.
It's causing a lot of bickering between fans, but ultimately it's down to one thing. Everyone's frustrated with the running of the club. Do you think it's the time now to make a stand, or has that time passed? For example, I renewed my season ticket before all this kicked off. Right? You know what I mean? It's like,
They made that hard
it
enough
kind of
as well,
makes
didn't they?
like
Yeah.
it kind of
The
makes
new
it feel mad.
finance
I
thing.
like the idea of walking out before the end, but the Glazers will be sitting there thinking he's gonna be back next season.
Yeah,
The prick.
exactly.
Do you know what I
if
mean?
you
Do
don't-
you know what I mean? He's already renewed.
But the point is, a lot of people tell why are you renewing your season ticket.
I'm a hypocrite.
You're the reason.
It's
yeah?
emotional blackmail.
this, alright,
It's your
no,
love of the club.
But
what
that's
it
the
is.
thing. Someone will be sat there next season, and you know how hard it is to get a season ticket again.
Do you
It
know
took
what?
me ages to get one.
Do you know what?
And
This
why
is
should I
the
give it
thing.
up? Personally, I think it is too late. That is too late that we're doing this now, because you were speaking about this like around the time Van Gaal was here, right at the start, and you ripped into the Glazers
Well, to
and
be
all
fair,
that. Where was
everybody's
it?
been speaking
Yeah.
about it.
I think people have been speaking about it, but until when we were spending 89 million on Paul Pogba, and then certain other players that weren't fitting what we wanted to do, or we weren't going into the boardroom with Mourinho and saying, we'll give you the transfers that you want, fans should have been having an uproar then. I know fans were, but not to this scale where this hashtag's gone around and every United fan you go on Twitter has something to say about it. We should have been doing something about it. 2010, like, against AC Milan, is what we should have been doing over the years. I think there should have been more
Clamp
of that
down
on the
on it.
ground.
They throw you out. If you
Not
wear a
just
green
once.
and yellow scarf back,
But
then they throw you
again,
out the ground.
I had green and yellow,
Yeah.
but we were still at the games, and it's ultimately, it's like, I understand we should make a stand, but because I was never part of the 2005 Glazer protest, but I seen a lot of it, and that we had effigies of Glazers getting burnt. He had buy or die, stuff like
another
that.
Team, you can't do more than start another team.
It was like riots going on.
That was United's hardcore support. That was hardcore, yeah.
And I don't think anything will get to that scale.
So but
do you think in this new era, a social media campaign could make a difference?
I mean,
do you think attacking sponsors and all that via social media?
See, I wasn't a fan of the Unfollow United thing, but I do understand the fans.
The thing is, right? I mean, we were looking. We had some stats, didn't we? And it's shown that like basically the growth has slowed down a little bit on social media. But
do you want me to read through it?
But a lot of that is to do. It's
nobody turns
you
up
can lose,
Sunday.
You can lose your marbles trying to read through all that.
Yeah,
but basically, the short and long of it is there was a massive sort of social media growth when Ollie took over.
Can we get some of these on screen?
Ollie's at the wheel sort of went through the roof, and the sort of the feel good factor returned, and people were obviously engaging with social media and United, and everyone was loving it, and that's tailed off due to the results. But the thing is, when that tails off, it's not people necessarily not following; it's the not following as much. So the growth isn't as much.
Yeah.
So I get the Unfollow United, and I think what we have to remember is, we all live within distance of the ground. We can all get to the ground. If we want to protest, we don't go. That's our protest. Yeah. We can leave. I saw someone on Twitter saying that as a protest they're going to leave after Cardiff's third goal as a protest, which was pretty funny. But we can show our protest with our feet.
It would make a point if they played in an empty stadium Sunday. If nobody turned up,
but
it won't happen.
But the thing with the social media thing is, if you don't live near Old Trafford, or even if you do, your only way of protesting might be via social media. Yeah. It might be by
that's where I understand.
So I get it, and I think what I don't want to see,
not buying.
Yeah.
And
what saddens me is, I remember once being at Old Trafford, and my mate had a green and gold scarf on, and he was on his phone, and someone was chanting near him, and he was on his phone, and then he got off his phone, and the guy who was chanting near him started laying into him, saying, if you're wearing that scarf, you should be fucking chanting and all that. And he's like, what? And I see a little bit of that on social media, that element of United fans arguing with one another. You mentioned it, bickering and friction, and you should be doing that, and why are they doing that? It's a waste of time, and why don't you get involved in that? And that's what saddens me, because we shouldn't be fighting with one another. The fight isn't against United fans.
It should be against the owners.
Yeah, it's against the people that have put us in this situation, and it's not fellow United fans that are the issue. It's the board, the CEO or the executive vice chairman, in my opinion, and the owners. And I think something needs to be done. And you can call me a hypocrite, but my stance on it is, I've been going to United since the 80s. My dad took me, and I want to take my lad when he's old enough, or my daughters when they're old enough. And it pains me to think that those owners are going to stop me doing that. And I'm call me a hypocrite, whatever, but I'm not going to stop going to the game. And I've thought about it, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah. And I think you can say, oh, well, Jay, you're full of shit, and you say this and that. But I was at United long before the Glazers, and I'll be at United long after they've been and gone. And I'm not going to stop doing that. And plus, I was quite happy going to United when we were winning trophies, and the Glazers were there. Now we're not winning trophies. It's not the time for me to say, oh, now the football dross. That ties in nicely with
That's
me.
Why a lot of
finding
people
my moral
think
compass.
It's too late to be. I'm just looking at the social blade stats for United's Twitter now. In the days leading up to it, they were getting 6k growth, 4k growth, 4k, 5k, 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 and in the last 2 days, they lost 10k on the Tuesday, 10.5, and 7.5 on Wednesday.
They have had a bit of a negative impact.
We were looking at like Facebook numbers and all that kind of stuff.
What a shame.
Comparisons of growth and all that stuff. Now, they usually have slower growth than normal, but they've never had dips like that. Now, that could just be a temporary thing. They could do a competition tonight saying retweet for a signed shirt, and people would be following and all that stuff.
What about a major announcement?
And the ultimate thing is they've still got 19.2 million followers. They had 19.2 million followers yesterday.
That's on Twitter, isn't it?
Twitter, yeah. Which is where the main kind of movement
Instagram's not really that place. It's more of a happy place.
Facebook, I think 70-odd million in it on Facebook.
But Instagram was the one that pissed me off the most. Because after the Huddersfield game, they were trying to shot socks. What? Like, they had the picture of Taheef Chong, and then like the link to buy the socks that he was wearing.
Put it on the screen.
And it was like, that was the worst thing about it. Like, know the time and place. Do you know? It's like,
it says everything.
It's like we make graphics for Full-Time Devils. But when we make a graphic about Munich, we're not going to slap a Full-Time Devils logo on it and subscribe. Yeah, and it's like, know the time and place to be doing it. And I think the club, very little people within the club understand the fan base.
I'll go back to November. We lost the derby 3-1. Next day, cheered everyone up. What did he do on the official account? Ashley Young's got a new contract.
Trying to cheer everyone up.
He's got a valid point.
Yeah.
He has got a valid point.
What is that?
When you click on the picture, it gives you the price.
A lot of companies do that. JD,
Yeah, I get that. No,
everyone
I get
does
that.
it.
But there's a
JD
time
sell
and place.
clothes, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like Manchester United.
So they were trying to sell Chong's. So I think they've took it off actually because they got rinsed.
But why just that? Like, it's like we've just drawn with Huddersfield. We're out of the top 4 confirmed, which is a target for the club, obviously. And it's just.
But it's funny because people joke about it, don't they? When we lose against Huddersfield or whatever, or not lose, sorry,
feels
drew,
like a loss.
Drew,
Anyway.
it does feel like a loss. When we draw, people say, "Oh, now watch the club. They'll announce a new cheese sponsor or
noodles.
Yeah, they'll announce that Phil Jones has signed an extension to his contract, and you make a joke of it, and then it happens.
Yeah,
they do announce a new sponsor or they'll announce a new, partner in wherever in Timbuktu or whatever, and you're like, really?
What? Going back to the point, Andy, you've not really said your view on that yet. What would your approach be against Cardiff? Would you do anything on that day?
I'm off on my L's, so like I say, balls to the fucking club. I'm just saying that. I'm saying that right here, right now. I'm going on my L's. Like I say, they don't care about the fans as far as I'm concerned. Why should I care about them on the last day of the season?
Where are you going on your holiday?
Abroad.
You're not going to Madrid,
Abroad.
You don't want to be in Madrid in early June, mate. Believe me, that's the last place you want to be.
I'm just going on my L's.
Take yourself away from there.
I'm going on my L's with my family. I'm going to enjoy it.
Imagine that. No, well, I wish I was going on with it. But no, listen, I think you have to. I respect anyone that wants to do something for the good of the club. Any fan that wants to try and do something, I get it. And I think like I said, we're privileged that we can do it quite easily because we go to the games, so we can just stop going and want.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that option, then I get it. And I just think what is the wrong approach is to start having a dig at everyone, at each other, because I just think that gets us nowhere, really. We know where the fight is, do you know what I mean? And it's not with someone who's decided to unfollow the United.
Trouble is, there is no fight. You say there is a fight, then there isn't a fight. You know what I mean? No, there's no fighting spirit in the team, in the dressing room. All the fans are arguing with each other. The players want to see encouragement from the fans. The fans want to see encouragement for the players. It works both ways, and it's not there.
I know. I think this is an opportunity in the summer, innit, to clear out some of the players.
We've had plenty of opportunity. I think that's where all this frustration, because it's kind of like we know what's coming. We had we get briefings from Ed Woodward. I was glad. Like, I disagree with some things that Gary Neville says, but I was glad that he came out and finally mentioned Ed Woodward by name.
Played Gary.
He did say Ed Woodward.
No, he said.
He also said the Glazers.
What he said was he said that Ed Woodward at the club he's good at certain things, bringing in money and revenue, and he doesn't have to necessarily.
He spoke about having like the ex-chief scouts from Van Gaal.
That's it.
And Moyes, and he spoke about how having guys that are still around the club from these managers.
Yeah.
It's almost like some people are just on the payroll around the club doing
Fergie's
nothing.
Scout's still there.
Yeah.
Louis Van Gaal, a scout from Moyes, I know. It's stupid.
I don't know if we mentioned that story on here before about the two scouts reporting on the same player.
Yeah, we saw that, didn't we? Was that true?
I don't know. It could sound like it could be true.
This is the thing that you don't know what's parody and what isn't anymore, United.
Apparently we got too many scouts or something like that.
Too many scouts.
I wish I
the only person you believe is, I'll lay that sick, because you don't trust any of them.
The manager should always have the last say.
I mean, I trust Carrick, I trust Phelan, but I don't trust any of them upstairs.
Do you think Gary Neville had a point, though? Because what he said was...
Yeah.
He said, all right, that side of thing, Woodward and all the rest of it, but he said, I think, and I'm paraphrasing it, like the thing with Darren Fletcher and Rio Ferdinand. I read something today that Rio Ferdinand wouldn't take the United director of football role because he doesn't want to leave London. He lives in London now with his kids and all the rest of it, and he don't want to move from there. Which, two things. One, did you not have that discussion with him when you were trying to get him to do the job? And two, I think Gary Neville was alluding to this. Rio's a legend, right, at the club. We all love Rio. Love him on the telly. You can tell he's still proper Manchester United and all the rest of it. But he'd be coming into this role having never done that role before. So is that the right idea, to get someone in just because they're a club legend? Or
I don't know.
Someone,
I don't know what the role entails, so I can't really say.
I don't think one person.
You don't know whether Rio's...
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd rather have Rio in there than Ed Woodward. Of course I would. I'm not saying that.
No. I'm just saying, like, you know, with these roles, like...
Yeah.
You never know till someone... I'm not saying give Rio the job by any means. I believe we should appoint someone that's experienced. That's been our problem for a while. We haven't got no leadership off the field or on the field. We haven't got one voice throughout the club, really, that, you know, one message or anything. When you look at, like, when you look at Liverpool and Manchester City, they function the same no matter who their players are, because they've got that kind of, the
Structure.
coach gives them the structure, the foundation, the tactics, everything is running through
we
the
need to
club.
understand
We used to do
as
that,
well.
though, didn't we? We used to do that, you know, when we had why do you think Anderson's got 4 Premier League winning medals or whatever, or Tom Cleverley's got one, or Welbeck's got one? I know we love Danny Welbeck, but you know what I mean.
He's
Because
available on free, by the way.
Yeah, that's our first signing in the summer.
let's not.
Ed Woodward would probably say, we'll bring him in
We'll
as
have an
director of
announcement.
football and player
Have an announcement
because he
well
knows
back.
the club
the return,
well
of,
back.
the return of a United legend, and everyone's like, Ronnie's coming back. And then
Return of the best.
Danny comes out of the smoke playing the piano.
Just about the point you're making, and I think it all goes down to gradually getting rid of players, and that's something we've not done.
We've
We
got
always
4
talk
managers
about-
players.
We've always
Yeah,
talked
you're
about
right.
clear outs, don't we? Every summer, clear out, clear out, clear out. You don't even see one of them leave. There's 1 or 2 here and there that weren't even going to stay.
Daily
on the
Bliss.
team.
Why?
But
It's going to be
We've not-
same
No,
shit,
mate,
different
hey.
season. That's what it's going to be next
Seriously.
year.
he's on the verge
He's
of
on
a
for a
treble,
treble,
by the
yeah.
way. He's on for a treble in like 1 week or 2 weeks.
With the Champions League.
There's no logic to our
Pending
transfer
they go
policy.
through
There's been no logic to our
Spurs
transfer
and
policy.
beat Liverpool.
And part of the problem is as well, like if you look at City and Liverpool, people forget Liverpool were looking at the likes of Salah before Klopp had even got there. You know, he was a long-term target for them. They were looking at Van Dijk for years as a long-term target. City have Tiki and whatever his name is.
Tiki and Taka.
Yeah, Tiki Taka, who works with Pep. There's a structure there. It's not just the manager who comes in and says, right, I want these transfers. They have like a director of football.
City have got 3 in
Yeah.
place.
Right, well, there you go.
Liverpool got about 3-4 in place. And we're just going to get the 1. Come on.
We need something. Something needs to change, because at the minute you can just see the same thing happening again. You bringing in 1 or 2 superstars, getting rid of a few players. The same old players will be there, and it'll be, you know, we'll be sat here in 12 months' time, 6 players going,
Bitching and moaning about
saying, you know,
Phil Jones
do
again.
we give Ollie another season?
It's been a
And-
cycle of false dawns, and I think every manager that's been sacked by United deserved to be sacked for their results and whatnot. But they've all had the same opinion of the board, and I think Van Gaal said it best: like, cannot run for football. I think we've all been saying it. Like, check my Swansea review, Van Gaal's first game when we lost. What I said, and then we went and signed Parker and Di Maria, and it was like a false dawn, false dawn, false dawn.
The thing is, as well, you look at the
Quick
transfers.
fix.
You wouldn't necessarily argue with a lot of these transfers. All right, I think everyone argued with the Fellaini
It's
one.
the
and
fact they
Mata
don't
was
fit
too late
what
under
we're doing
Moyes.
now.
But when we started buying like Di Maria, Blin, Falcao under Van Gaal, people thought, yeah, all right, Herrera, yeah, I get this. Then when Mourinho came in and he bought Pogba, Lindelof, Bailly, people were like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? There was very few people that were going, these transfers are bad players, or we shouldn't be buying them. But
What's the
trouble is-
reasons we're buying them though? It's the reason we didn't buy Pogba. I don't think we bought Pogba for any
Can I just say,
tactical
yeah,
reasons
before we move
under
on,
Mourinho.
on the Unfollow Man United thing, people want us to talk about it, and people obviously have an opinion on it. And Full Time Devils is your platform. If you're a Man United fan or Man United group or whatever, even if Abdullah don't agree with you, I don't agree with you, use that can use the platform. And what we're doing this week is we're providing a platform for anybody that wants to have their voices heard on this Unfollow Man United hashtag. Whether you want to send a message to other fans, whether you want to explain why you're doing it, whatever you want to do. So we'll give you the opportunity to send your video in, and then we'll use all of those in one video, or the videos which are sensible enough, or you know, coherent. We're not just going to stick anything up, and don't be getting abusive and all that. But we'll try and do that and get that video out this week. Obviously, people have their opinions on social media, but Full Time Devils is ultimately a platform for opinions and not just individuals, whether regulars or not. So, yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
good.
Before we
It's,
move on.
you
Yeah,
know,
it's
it's a
good.
good point now, because people always say Full-Time Devils as though it's like one voice.
Yeah.
And it's not. I mean, you disagree on a lot of things. Me and Abdullah, me and Andy, or you and Andy, or whatever. And you're right. It's
Well,
not,
I mean, if you
know,
look
it's
at
not
fan
just one
cams,
opinion.
Oh,
apart
mate,
from me and Andy having that little,
okay, having a Royal Rumble
having the Pogba
against
dust up the other
Chelsea.
week. But no, on a serious note, if you look at fan cams on a whole, there's so many different opinions. And that's why I can't get my head around people that say, either Full Time Devils protect the club, because one, we have no reason to do that. We don't gain anything from protecting the club. We never have, we never will. In fact, the club have occasionally stopped us from doing stuff. We're not even allowed on club premises is one thing I will say. So to those that think, fan channels or full-time Devils are in the club's pocket, have a day off. But just look at how many different opinions are on there. I'll be holding a mic and people will be giving opinions that I don't agree with. And whenever Howson's on or Gaz is on, people are giving alternative opinions to them. And Gaz is Gaz. Like, don't take Gaz seriously. Like, you all watch this week at Man United. You know what time it is with Gaz.
Oh, yeah, shaving your head if Phil Jones scores. Jesus.
Do you know what?
Jesus.
I loved it. I'd have been sat here with my clippers right now if Phil Jones had scored, shaving Gaz's head off with a big grin on my face. If you don't know, Gaz said that if Phil Jones scored before the Huddersfield game, if Phil Jones scored, he was going to shave his head off. And they had that moment where it looked like Phil Jones was going to score. But obviously, Phil Jones being Phil Jones.
I want Lindelof to cut his hair off again.
Can you name his only goal?
Not when he done that.
Against Valencia in our net.
Blackburn. No, Villa Park.
Banger that.
And Sir Alex Ferguson laughed at him.
He did indeed.
Storming through midfield,
because he
banging
just
it in
couldn't
top
believe
bins.
that Phil
What a
Jones
man.
had scored.
Mate.
It was proper one of those Nelson from The Simpsons.
Do you remember when I remember when Phil Neville scored one from the edge of the box once at Old Trafford, and everyone started chanting, "What the fucking hell was that?" Felt sorry for him, man. It was a decent goal as well.
Is that the one shrugs off the defender, tucks it?
Which one?
The attacker you're on about.
Oh, Phil Jones one against Valencia, yeah, the own goal. That was the best own goal ever. Where he shrugged off his man, opened up his body.
What a finish that
and
was.
slotted it past Romero.
If only
That's
Lukaku
decent,
could learn
that.
a thing or two from that, innit?
Good times.
Ah, good
The
We're at
days when
such
we
a
could win the
low.
league with Young and Cleverly and Nani and Anderson. And
I liked Nani.
I loved Anderson
I
too.
love Nani.
Yeah.
Loved him.
What a nice sculpture of yourself in your hallway.
Who?
Nanny.
Yeah,
For
he
me, man.
deserved
The guy
it.
What a
rated
man.
himself, but
God,
what a
He won
man.
the Premier League European Cup in his first season. Come
Yeah,
on.
mate. You got to have some. Do you know what I love as well? Like Anderson, what was he, 18? Taking a penalty in the final?
Golden boy.
Swagger, just walking up like chest
That
out.
ruined his career, that.
What?
Him winning all them trophies in his first
Yeah,
season.
he
He was
Yeah.
18 now, yeah. I thought
Yeah, he's
he was
18,
20.
man. He's 18. He's chest out.
Oh dear.
He was living La Vida Loca.
He
after
Straight
did
that.
down the
not
middle.
look 18.
Nah, he
Hey.
did. He was class.
Did he?
He was a baller. He was.
Nah, not on the
No,
ball.
You know what it was?
Passes
Fergie
against Arsenal.
Fergie turned him into like a
Yeah.
holding midfielder and it went all kind of...
Yeah, he's...
Well, probably
remember
because
I
he got
thought-
fat.
Yeah, about to say
yeah,
a 4
right.
stone he put on didn't help.
I thought though when we come back to one game and he scored like 2 goals against Reading, and I thought, yes, Anderson's back. It was like after he got injured.
Scored 2 against Schalke in the Champions League final, semi-final in 2011. I'm like, whoa, what's up with
Manuel
him?
Neuer, remember?
Now we've
Danny
got a
Gibson, the
Brazilian
G-Bomb
called
got on
Fred.
the action there, I think, as well.
Now we've got a Brazilian called Fred in the team.
Do you know what, though? I think Fred's one of the players that you'd keep. He's got potential. I know we just bought him anyway. So it's
He will survive the snap. You know what I mean?
I don't...
He
Hey!
deserves to stay. in my
I don't
opinion.
think we should be...
So,
I don't think you can look at Fred or Lindelof as a problem.
No.
You know, like
Yeah.
these kind of players. Like, yes, you may think they're not good enough, but I think the problem's obviously players that we've been saying it about these players under 3-4 different managers. Some of them, the
Yeah.
Valencia's. Well, Valencia doesn't play anymore.
He should play last game of the season.
What did you make
Yeah, of course he should. He should.
Marco, about there's these stories about Ollie building his team around McTominay that everyone started laughing at.
I think there's a lot of stories out at the moment. There's stories about Martial, Pogba. I think we're in for a long summer.
Are we going to have
Gonna
a
see a
team
lot
from the
of
first
players
game of the season
leaving.
or what?
I haven't
What's he
cared.
gonna
Building a
look
team
like?
around McTominay would just typify
I
Brexit
think
Britain.
what it could mean, I think what
on
it
this
could mean
last
is
season.
if there's anything that's come out of it, is more like his desire on the pitch and what he's been given,
Yeah.
and that
He's
he's
a fan
stepped
on the
up.
pitch.
He's stepped up between all those other players, between Pogba in that Chelsea game.
I think you've got
Sanchez,
to look at though.
everyone around him.
Pogba will have games where he's played as well as McTominay, but people will say he was rubbish and McTominay was great.
Yeah, but
So I
again,
think you've
that's
got to
just
look at the
reason. Yeah,
expectations
of course,
that
of course.
people have of
Well, that's
these
what I'm
players.
saying, because he's matching these guys in these games when he shouldn't.
But he does
Well,
things which
yeah.
are. I remember Arsene Wenger speaking about British football and speaking about how fans like. You didn't have to be particularly good, but if you ran around and flew into challenges and
Yeah.
played with a limp, fans loved you because they felt like you cared more. Like I used to get so peeved off with people that said Berbatov didn't care and stuff like that.
But that's
Like he was an utter
people just
don.
don't
Do you not
understand
know that he
football.
could do
That
what
was
he
his
wants?
style, and he used to drop deep.
And
a
it's
lot
like
as well.
players have different language styles, or like, you know, they it doesn't mean they don't care and stuff like that. And I think you've got to, I think it's harsh to say most of them. I think Smalling cares. I think Jones cares. I think Young definitely cares. They're just not good enough. And I just think it's easy to say, they don't care or they don't play for the shirt when we don't win.
I think some of them as well, like when we concede a goal, and I made this point over the last few weeks, do you know, like when we concede a goal, they just become hesitant on the ball. Some of them just don't have the mentality as well. And because the pressure gets to them and their ability isn't great, it's just a worse combination to have on a pitch. I think that's what happened to us against Huddersfield.
We play for halves at a time.
Once we
as well.
concede, like once City or Liverpool concede against Huddersfield, you know they're scoring. Even Spurs or Arsenal of recent times, you'll see they'll score there. With us, we just become so hesitant on the ball. It's like they're worried about everything they do. They think about the criticism they'll get.
The chair over there.
I'm glad you used the word languid when you're speaking about Berbatov, because that's the law. You have to use that word whenever you're talking about.
He's an absolute don. I love Berber, and I don't know. I remember when people say, Tevez. I like Tevez as well.
Listen,
But
that actually against the Scousers, Dimitar Berbatov will always have a place in my heart. Don't you worry about that.
And there was a little dive against Liverpool as well. He did.
Hey.
I remember I was sat in the south stand, right in the corner, and I was looking right at it, and he dived, and Giggs scored the penalty. We won 1-0 against Liverpool, and I remember just thinking that was a Stonewall dive. But go on, Berber.
That's what I mean, man.
Remember the West Ham? I say his
the little
goal.
trick. It was just a shame, wasn't it, that we couldn't keep Tevez, man, because it was, you know what I mean? That was
he scored 5 against Blackburn, didn't he, as well?
Yeah, I wrote an article saying how he wasn't good enough the day before.
You were one of those, Shay.
I've just been
talking about.
I didn't say he scored a hat-trick against Scousers, right? He didn't score for 10 games, and I said he needed to up his game, and then
against Blackburn.
And then he scored 5 against Blackburn the next day, so.
Fergie left him out of Champions League final that year.
Well in that game.
When he was the top scorer for us.
That was so sad, that was.
Mate,
that was so sad.
I remember there was rumours going around that he was going to start, and he wasn't even in the squad, and Michael Owen was.
And he cried. And he still loves United. That's the kind of thing that would make you hate something. Like,
top scorer,
what?
You're not even in the squad.
What was
Michael
it, our 19th title?
Yeah.
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 He led us to our 19th title.
Premier League joint top scorer, and he didn't get in the Champions League squad.
Michael Owen did.
Michael Owen did.
He also left Park out of the Champions League squad. Remember that?
2008. Yeah, he played in the semi, didn't he?
2009, wasn't it?
No, in 2008 he didn't make the final.
Because I remember he's in. You know the picture of the trophies is in the jacket.
Fergie said that was like one of his hardest ever decisions.
Surely you'd even play without a goalkeeper to just put Park in the squad, isn't it? On the bench.
Still got a medal.
Especially because you think against Chelsea, Park G in that midfield.
Yeah.
Extra time.
I think it just
win it earlier.
Yeah. Well, you can't.
Then you lose the John Terry
slip.
Like,
You can't change anything about that. Everything that happened there happened for
Didn't
a
we
reason.
play them like 2 weeks before that, and we had a bad game? I think Jason Park was.
Someone's tweeting. Someone's posting a comment at the moment. This is what you've become, lads.
Reminiscing.
Yeah. Living in the past.
Man.
Beat you to it.
Yes, we are. We can't live in the present because otherwise
if we live in the present, we'll all be drinking bleach.
6th place.
What do you guys reckon? We should go watch Salford next week in Wembley. He's up for that.
I'm not. I'm not jumping on bandwagons.
Tell you what,
it's bad at
if they're in the
Old
Football
Trafford.
League, they'll be playing Oldham next season.
That'll be fun.
Mini derby in itself.
Greater Manchester Police have got a spare few thousand officers to sort that one out. Hey, won't fancy being a steward then. Yeah.
In a nutshell, I hate football.
Yeah.
Listen, the good thing is, right, the thing that's the main positive about it is
We've got a left, that's it.
It's only going to get worse next week when City lift the title, probably, and then a week later the Scouts.
City ain't lifting the title. I'm telling you that now.
City win the league, Liverpool win the Champions League, Leeds get promoted.
I've been saying it all, not all season. I haven't been saying it actually. I've been saying it for the last few months. I said it when Barca beat us, Liverpool beat Barca.
Do you know what, right?
Liverpool's going to win it Sunday.
Yeah.
No.
Do you reckon?
Chris Hughton's going to get a draw. When?
You said it so many
Oh yeah, because Liverpool are winning the league. That's when I thought they were going to win it.
It's
Now,
just
obviously
gone
they
their
didn't.
way too
They're gonna
much.
win. They're gonna get
It's
the
way
better
too
half of an
Yeah.
Aguero.
Do you know
moment.
what, right? No, if Liverpool have to win the league, this would be the would be the better way for them to do it, because even it's more like City fans like saying, that's pretty funny Liverpool in the league because we're in the Champions League, because like, you know, all United's rivals win everything, and I'm thinking, do you know what? You're gonna regret saying that.
Leeds win the
regret
playoffs.
saying that Liverpool are going to win the league.
You see that Liverpool
Yes.
fan on the other night on the radio? Shit, they want an award for finishing.
They're not going to need
second.
to share it because they're going to win it, mate.
But they're
we
a joke.
all just
Yeah,
need to
they
accept
show what a
these
runners
things
up
right now.
trophy.
They're so unbearable when they don't win anything. Like, I remember like Liverpool finishing 8th, us being in a Champions League final and winning the league, and them still being unbearable. How they're going to be when they win it? Oh, I feel sick.
What people say, yeah,
Sick.
that they think it will take United 5 years to get back to challenging for the main ones.
No.
I don't think it should have to take that long. I think if you
That's
get if
ridiculous.
you have a good summer and you make the right decisions, you should be able to build in 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I
So,
think.
yeah, I think
If United
the
make
season
right
after next, we
signings,
should be
there
able to
can be a
challenge.
step forward next season. Like, if we get 4th next season, that's a start. Maybe win a cup and go from there.
I think a lot of it as well is like how good some of these younger players are. Are the likes of Chong, Garner, Greenwood, are they as good as we hope? Because if you give them a season
are
in and
quality.
around the first team, I know you watch a lot more of them than I do. Give them a season in and around the first team, maybe in the Europa or whatever,
Yeah.
and then the season after that, the playing games.
If
If they're as good as Greenwood's as good as he looks like he is, we could have a real.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Leicester and Wolves are going to be breathing
Leicester
down
are
our
a good
necks.
team,
Watford
mate.
as well.
Leicester had a better midfield than us.
I tweeted the other day, right?
Leicester's
There's
midfield's
9
one of the
Leicester
best
players
in
that
the
are getting our team. I was being
Johnny
I
Evans,
was joking.
Harry
But there's at least
Maguire.
5.
Johnny
I
Evans, Harry
genuinely think
Maguire,
Jamie Vardy, maybe?
Ndidi.
On form, Schmeichel.
Nah, not Schmeichel.
Do you see some?
Would you take
Um,
Jamie Vardy?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he'd
He
be a
does-
better
he does get in
nine.
the
Than,
team.
he'd play better
He's
for
played
us.
like 10
this
goals.
style
He
than-
scored like
than
10 goals
Lukaku.
in 9 games. Under
I don't know whether
Rodgers.
he's a better.
Who's the
all-round,
lad
maybe.
in midfield? Is it Tielemans? Is it?
Tillman's
is
mint.
Yeah.
Maddison and if you
I'd
look
take
at them-
Chilwell over Shaw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would.
I do.
yeah.
I'm sorry. And I know Luke Shaw's probably
Ricardo
going to win our
Pereira,
player of the
like,
year.
No, he hasn't.
But
No, genuinely take like 8 players in that
Yeah.
team. Indeed, 100%.
I mean, you know what? I'm not saying we go out and buy the half of the Leicester team. That's ridiculous.
we're
But
gonna have to
there are
check it.
players. I think Housen said it. There's players from
Yeah.
the bottom half of the table that you could get that would massively improve our team.
That's
And
what
if you
Fergie
look-
was good at.
look-
Like,
look
he used to
at-
go and
like-
shop in
Get
the Premier
Ndidi
League.
and Neves.
Yeah, no, but seriously, if you got those
We ain't
players
getting Neves.
that'd improve our team, and you could get him if you
Well,
wanted.
Fergie
You
was
just
good
won't
at
get him
doing
if you
that.
don't
Why
want him.
have we not taken that approach where we're going to players that are reliable in the league? We've seen their ability.
Look at
Indeed, he should have been
the
knocked
kid
down.
at the Scouts. Don't keep going on about him, but Wijnaldum,
Yeah,
Robertson,
Ronaldo, Robertson.
Newcastle, Hull,
yeah,
Southampton, Van Dijk.
even Shaqiri, he's doing a job for him.
Scary, yeah.
And
But
yeah,
all
we'd
relegated teams
scoff
at
at
the
these
time,
players.
I
We'd be
think,
like,
yeah.
don't be silly. We're not buying.
What I
relegated
was
players.
thinking was like, if you look at it, Ndidi should have been locked down like 2 months ago. We should have players like Ndidi. We clearly need a defensive midfielder.
Mate, we didn't have a
You go-
manager 2 months ago.
No. What I'm saying
We
is,
didn't have. We
what
didn't
I'm
have
saying is
anyone making
once
football
Ollie.
decisions. We haven't had anyone making football decisions for about 15 years. But
How long was Ollie?
What
When
the
was Ollie appointed full time? When Ollie was appointed full time. Remember what I said outside Old Trafford that day? I was like, that's when you see if Ed Woodward's serious or not. We should be signing players right now.
We should be getting.
City are about to sign Bruno Fernandes. Bayern Munich have signed 2 players in like February. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what the best teams do. Barcelona did that.
Wan-Bissaka, bring him back. Bring him in, sorry. Johnny Evans, bring him back. Danny Welbeck, bring him back on a free.
Jamie Vardy.
I just want it for hashtag Wildback, to be honest.
I'm not joking about Welbeck. before
I'm
it's
not.
sorted, man.
Bring him back. Make him captain. Give him Sanchez's shirt.
And wages.
You're getting a death stare here, mate.
Danny Welbeck comes in on 505k a week.
Alongside
Give
Barnum.
Welbeck Alexis's wages
Yeah, I mean,
and his piano.
Alexis will be fuming. He's getting 25% off his contract.
I was gonna call
Oh,
him.
diddums. Oh, what a shame.
He'll only be
I've
getting
got to take
two.
a
He's gonna have
pay
to
cut.
get Humber and what's the other dog called?
Oh,
Smart
God.
Price. Dog
Try and
food.
get up at 5 o'clock in the morning for work, lad. You know what I mean?
He does. He has to walk his dogs, Andy.
Yeah.
Stupid.
So we all going on Sunday then? You're not there. You're away. You going?
Yeah, I'll be there, man. I'm going to be there next season too, so just got to like it and lump it,
I
innit?
feel sick.
It would be nice if he fired some people on the pitch, like Alan Sugar. You're gone. But you can't humiliate
No,
him.
we should let it be like, Like one of them cheesy talent shows where everyone in the crowd goes, boo. Or we turn over
Big buzzer. Big buzzer.
Peppers.
Yeah.
Big buzzer.
We'll be seeing that.
Yeah,
we'll
they
be
should have
seeing
that
that way more.
on
Everyone will be
your
like,
seat,
gone,
a card on your
gone,
seat.
gone.
Yeah, red and green peppers, and it's like...
Crowd just start singing. Why the fuck has Ashley got a 4-year... Phil Young got a
4-year contract.
Well, he might do. When he thinks
he sees that out.
why some of these players got contracts? The crowd should start singing it. You know what I mean?
I think we're close to triggering the optional extra year in Moyes' contract as well.
Still not done yet, is it? Still got a few months left to be at it. Hey.
Bring boys back.
Hey.
Bring Welbeck back. Bring them all back. Evans.
Right, do you think he would have kept David Moyes?
Right?
Shut up. No. Do you think right now...
We would be in the championship.
We'd be worse than where we are now.
Yeah.
We'd probably be in the
Worse than
championship.
6. If we'd have stuck with him for
We'd
the
be in the
6 years.
championship.
We'd
We'd
probably
have,
be in the championship.
we'd have Leighton Baines, left back.
Chris Cole.
Chris
Like,
Coleman.
Is it
still-
what's his name?
He used to
James
manage
Coleman.
Wales.
Sorry, yeah, same.
It's cool. That'd be a left field move.
Yeah, that'd be.
Centre
right.
If there was one manager to do it, it
outside
would be
the box
David
there,
Moyes. Like,
Hey, I like it.
yeah, Seamus Coleman. Who
Mate.
else were we linked to under him? Like really, really bad players. Fellaini would be
Well,
our
according
number
to
9.
him, Tony Cruz was going to come, wasn't he?
Fabregas.
Fabregas, Tony Cruz playing left wing, right wing.
I don't know, man.
Slumping in
To me,
crosses.
I actually believe he thought Tony Cruz was coming, but I actually believe Tony Cruz was never ever coming. Like he probably was just using us for
Mate,
a
there was
bigger.
do you remember the madness that was going on that transfer deadline? People who weren't even United representatives trying to get under Herrera. Us putting in a bid for...
fake lawyers.
Yeah,
Fake
lawyers.
lawyers at Bilbao, yeah.
And us putting in a bid for Contrao at like 10:30. And Real Madrid saying, nah, because we can't buy
yeah,
anyone
he
else
was
if we sell
crying.
him. Yeah. And then like paying over the odds for Fellaini, even though he's...
Could have got him for 23 million earlier.
Yeah. It was just some craziness, man. Honestly, that was
Do you
like,
think we'll sign anybody? Seriously, this summer? Do you
Yeah,
think
we
we'll get
will.
anybody?
Yeah,
I think we'll sign four,
Yeah.
5
It's
players.
not going to be what
It
people
does
want now.
concern me what I'm hearing. Like, there's nothing concrete as of yet.
Mate,
and there should
what
be
I would
by
tell
now.
you is, just don't listen to anything, because it's 99% of it is all rubbish.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone knows the fans are angry. It's like I'll see fans discussing a player on Twitter. Next thing you know, there's an article about us signing that player. When fans are angry, people will write
Get the
articles
clicks.
that will trigger that anger
Yeah.
and
It's more about
multiply it
having
and
something
get them
concrete,
shit.
if you get what I'm
I
saying.
think
Like,
you've just got to see
already
most of these
talking to players
geezers.
and
Do you
all
think
that.
though?
blagging.
Do you
We're
think
not
the
doing
club
enough.
actually get the fans are angry now? The
Mate,
board
they've
get
known
it.
we've been pissed
I
off
don't
for
think
time.
they care, mate. They honestly don't
Well,
care.
yeah,
about
I don't
fans.
think they care as
I
much
think
as they
we've
should.
reached that
And I
level.
think what
That
worries
they
me
don't.
slightly about our transfers this summer is because we've not got Champions League football, and because it might affect us commercially, they might go out and try and buy another Galactico who would stomach not having Champions League football and come for big money. And that's the wrong approach, man. We need to-
Galacticos didn't even work for Real Madrid.
Exactly. They're not going to work for United now when we're in
Like
sixth.
that, do the Europa League tickets £10 a go? You fill a bloody stadium, wouldn't you? Arsenal used to do it in the League Cup.
You know what? My missus took my eldest to go and see, I think it was Rostov.
You
or
want to bring
whatever.
the
It
next
was-
generation of young
She
fans.
loved it. She
Cheap
had a good
tickets
game
for next
and enjoyed the
season.
game.
No, but it'd be an olive branch to the fans. Stop
Andy,
milking.
the club are out of touch with the fans. What don't you get? Don't
do
remember
get-
the wall of white at Anfield when they wanted to give they wanted to
Wall
give
of
everyone
White
them
Anfield.
replica
Tried
shirts
giving
to wear
us
to
shirts to
Anfield.
wear at Anfield.
Remember that
They want us to get
in the
killed.
Europa
Give
game.
him.
Yeah.
In the Europa game,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
they sent everyone. They sent everyone that got a ticket in the ballot a white shirt
Oh, God.
to wear at Anfield.
Fucking hell. Hey.
I don't know whether before or after you've been baited up for being a United fan outside.
Is there anything
Anfield.
more out of touch than
Stanley
that?
Park
Is there
wearing a United
anything
shirt.
more out of touch than that? Here you go, lads. Just get killed.
I forgot about that. I forgot. Yeah, I do remember it. What?
They're
Oh,
out
man.
of touch.
Do you know what I mean? Did he
1-1
give you- did he
draw
give you-
with
did he give
Huddersfield
you-
to
Did he give you a free
confirm
Patrice
6.
Evra mask to go with it?
Yeah.
Hey,
Like the
do you know
song
what I mean?
says, out of touch.
And
out
they
of time.
advertise
Well,
socks to
yes.
us. I'm
Classic.
poor to Heath Chung.
Oh.
Who sang that?
And
Was
what
it
I would
Rolling
say
Oaks?
as well, guys,
They had
is
them on discount.
please,
Get out of
please
touch.
lower your expectations of these younger players. For you
Yeah.
younger ones like Abdullah getting excited over them and being hopeful. It's good to be hopeful, but just don't think all of these players are the next best thing because you get your heart broken.
The thing is,
I
though,
thought
yeah.
Sylvan Ebanks-Pate was the man. I thought Fraser Campbell was the guy. All
can't-
players
I've-
that are
I've-
talented
yeah.
at Manchester United will look great in the academy. I think it's what happens when a step up. Is their mentality
That's why the
there?
Europa's good next
Did
season.
they get the right opportunities? Look how we're talking about Marcus Rashford at the moment. Now, I know Marcus Rashford has had a poor time of it of late, down to no fault but his own. But he's a young player. He's going to be inconsistent.
Yeah.
Do you think he's got an attitude?
Why do people always make attitude problems up, man?
Why do they make this thing up where he's arrogant? Where have you seen that? Are you sat with him? Do you know what he does in training?
I would disagree a little bit, Mac. I think the manager's got to take some responsibility for Rashford because he's not fit. Yeah. He's not fit. He's hobbling about playing.
He's playing with a swollen ankle against Palace.
He's strapped up. He's got a shoulder strapped up going into the Chelsea game. And what happens? He comes off with a shoulder injury.
It's wrong.
The guy needs to take
shows you what
line.
I agree then. If his player's injured, don't play him.
Yeah. And he's always going to want to play Rashford because he gives a shit. He's always going to want to play.
Players.
And sometimes he needs saving himself.
There's this guy who tweeted out something about how Trent cares or Rashford doesn't, and Rashford wants 200k at United. Where have you read that on the Mail? And then this guy's got like 10,000 likes. All the United fans agreeing with him, without knowing anything about it. And it's just stop fueling this stuff. Stop entertaining all this crap that comes out about our players. And just like you said, Adam, if Chong comes through and he doesn't have a great game, everyone will just get up on his back. And that's the worry. Personally, I just play the younger lads in Europa League and just hope that the fans are going to be patient with them because that's a good place for them to show what they're capable of.
I think they will next season. The fans will be patient in the Europa League with the
I don't know, mate. Some of our fans.
No.
Trust me, mate. Some of our fans.
Might be our best bet, that trophy again.
Yeah, I think just throwing
might be. I'm just saying.
Lads.
You're talking about Europa League again.
Yeah,
On that note, this show is over. Don't forget, guys, we're doing the Unfollow Man United video. So if you want to get your fan opinions in, we transfer them to FullTimeDEVILS@gmail.com. If you want to record yourself in landscape.
Landscape's the one.
Landscape. Record yourself in landscape. Send it across. If you want your Twitter sharing or whatever, then put it in the description. So do that. And then, we'll try get a compilation of all those. There's a few that contacted us on socials that we'll get back to as well to send us in theirs. But apart from that, subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, SoundCloud. We're now on iTunes. I've managed to sort that out. Yes. At least something's gone right this month. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Anyone else want to add anything? Wally of the week this week? I am Madam McCall.
Oh yeah, quickly Wally of the week. Luis
Valverde.
Luis Suarez. The only time in my life I've wanted Luis Suarez to score a goal.
No, but I don't think we can give it to anybody out of Manchester United after what we've just seen this week. Manchester United.
I said I'd just keep giving it Ed Woodward. I'm just going to keep giving it Ed Woodward.
It's the only thing he'll be winning this season.
Maybe we should just change this award name to Woodward of the Week.
Yeah, the Woodward.
Woodward of the Week.
The Woody of the Week.
Woody of the Week,
yeah. Here you go, man.
It's changed.
Got on with Woodward. Scrooge McDuck.
And on that note, we're out of here.
Twat.